Welcome to the Yugioh Mermaids Tierlist. This is going to be a catalog and ranking of each unique mermaid in Yu-Gi-Oh! So what that means is that if a mermaid has multiple monster forms, like how Dark Magician is also Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, that counts as 2 spots. But if a monster appears as a monster and then on a spell trap, um, like Burstinatrix and Burstinatrix on the bad version of polymerization, only the monster card version is counted. If there's a mermaid that's only on a spell or trap, though, that still gets a spot. There's going to be some things that aren't on the list. If it's just a fish or just a sea monster, that won't go on. Weather and rain spirits and most ice creatures and spirits have been discluded. Wyverns and any other non-fish that just so happen to have a tail and no legs. Mermaids are more than that. Most naga. So if you got a snake lower half, that's probably not going to be counted. Water benders, that's not good enough. Moon-aligned monsters, I love when mermaids are associated with the moon, but just being associated with the moon is not enough to make it on the list. And slimes are also not mermaids, as far as this list is concerned. The tiers in individual rankings are roughly from least to most mermaid, and I'll also try to place mermaids as high on the tiers as I can reasonably justify. Also, Rush Duel cards aren't being included. This is just the main Yu-Gi-Oh card game. There are 6 tiers, or categories, rather. And each category will be further divided into subcategories to better classify the various types of mermaids that exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's get started with Mermaid Hearted. So like I said, there will be subcategories to help further explain what that means, but generally it's for if you don't look like a mermaid, but deep in your soul you are somehow. Alright, and as you can see, let's start off with canonically detransitioned mermaids. So, monsters that used to be mermaids, but, you know, detransitioned. They decided it wasn't for them. Alright, starting off, we've got Elemental Hero Cosmo Neos. You can see on the wing here some of Neospatian Aquadolphin, but they've decided to amalgamate with so many other things, they're no longer what I would consider a mermaid. And one step back, we've got Storm Neos, who's decided to forego the seas for wings. Not really a mermaid anymore. Let's go back here and up. Oh, this is fun. So we're going to have a lot of World Legacy monsters in the canonically detransitioned category, and especially the next category, because of a certain secret mermaid that will show up later. Lib the World Keyblade Master, Ib the World Chalice Justicar, Guard Dragon Justitia, Galatea the First, the Orchist Automaton, the World Legacy Token, Uh, the oh, it's got to be Lee's human form, perhaps, in World Legacy Bestowal. Uh, oh, of course. So these are all monsters that got detransitioned out of being an amalgam mermaid that again will show up later. And then we've got Ariel, Priestess of the Necros, and Nashidal Ariel. Uh, now we're getting into dual terminal. The same person, but previously they were a more mermaidy person, as were Avance, Swordsman of the Necros, who is the great sorcerer of the Necros, and Zephyr Saber, Swordmaster of the Necros, all another one ex-mermaid. Dance Princess of the Necros, Amelia, Dance Priestess of the Necros, Necros of Gungnir. That's all Amelia after she decided to stop being a mermaid. Necros of Sophia, and Necros of Metaltron. Oh, I think that's also Amelia. Okay. Let's go up one more stage. Oh. Okay. And we're on to our next subcategory. We've got mermaid-hearted sea creatures. So you'd think that perhaps only a human-like thing would long to be a mermaid, but think about if a fish wanted to have a different upper body instead of a human wanting to have a different lower body. Got metal fish, who I'm going to assume is sapient and perhaps a cyborg. Developed or got developed little legs so they could be more mermaidy, more human and fish-like. Spiked snail or devil snail, same thing going on. Mechanical snail. We love the snail HRT. Or I guess it's more like snail gender affirming surgery. Mermaid affirming surgery. A Fishborg launcher has a whole human suit to sit inside of and be not content being born a fish type. And Fishborg harpooners doing the same deal. And Fishborg blaster sitting there all their humanoid peripherals. Let's go up one more. We've got canonically pre-transition. So these are the monsters who will later become mermaids. They are destined to, in one way or another. The first way is as fusion materials, so Petite Angel and Mystical Sheep 2, and Fusionist, and Elemental Hero Neos, and Behegon, and Water Magician, and Gruesome Goo, and Sea Common all get fused. Not all of them together, but all of them are a fusion material specifically named on a mermaid that'll show up later on. Let's go back and up, and Sword Soul Strategist Long One, and Sword Soul Sinister Sovereign uh, Qixing Long One are going to do a bit of a fusion dance later on of a different sort with Supreme Sovereign Serpent of Golconda. We'll see that mermaid later on. Oh boy, now it's time for the other half of the World Legacy lore. Guard Dragon Prominesces, Guard Dragon Garmides, Guard Dragon LP, Guard Dragon Agripane, Guard Dragon Pisty, Crowned by the World Chalice, and Ib the World Chalice Priestess, Galate the Orchist Automaton, the young Lee in World Legacy's Memory, Lee the World Chalice Fairy, Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, Never-Ending Nightmare Absorber, Orchist Nightmare. I've got to go up again. Nope. Right. So all of those ones, the dragons and the Iblis and the Lees, those, all of them are part of that amalgam mermaid mentioned earlier. But Indigo Eclipse, Mekk-Knight Indigo Eclipse, is different. He's going, well, they're going to be transformed in a manner into a different mermaid in the World Legacy lore. Ragnazero's ranked up form is going to be a mermaid. Sorry, number 103, Ragnazero. Legendary Atlantean Tridon, Poseidra the Atlantean Dragon, Poseidra the Storming Atlantean Dragon, and Poseidra Abyss the Atlantean Dragon Lord will all come to be a mermaid. Perhaps not the most of their will, but that is their fate. Steel Swarm Origin. Steel Swarm Hercules, Vylon Tetra, Musto, Oracle of Gusto, Gishki Advance, Revealer of the Ice Barrier, who is Gishki Noelia, Gishki Amelia, Speaker for the Ice Barriers, who is Gishki Ariel. All of these dual terminal monsters are the pre-transition forms of all the Gishki mermaids, who you'll see later on. Let's go back and up. And now we're moving into the Mermaid Hearted. So not just destined to, and not just fusion material or whatever. This is in their heart and soul, they are mermaids. So it goes down here. My mistake. We should be starting with the fabled Leviathan and the fabled Leviathan, who's clearly taken the name of a famous sea monster. Obviously, they have desire to be connected to that in some way. Shore Knight wants to spend all the time by the ocean. I wonder why that might be. Elemental Hero Bubble Man and Neo Bubble Man and Evil Hero Toxic Bubble is decked out in these fish fins and clearly, using water. You know, dressing up like a fish. That's pretty mermaid-hearted, I'd say. All right, now we should be into the constellars. So constellar acubens is uh, representing the constellation of Cancer, which is a crab. So we're thinking crab mermaid hearted. Constellar Alresha, that's Pisces, obviously fish, mermaid hearted. And we go back here to Constellar Algiady, who is representing Capricorn. And perhaps you don't know this, but the Capricorn symbol is representing a half a sea goat, so a half goat, half fish, which is a mermaid of sorts. They're clearly aligned with that. Barion's Chaos Draw shows Shark from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal anime, who is always using sharks and other fish, and clearly obsessed with them. And I think that Shark would be pretty happy if they got to be a shark mermaid. So we're saying mermaid, shark mermaid hearted for shark. Krishnerd Witch has got these little fish fins on her hat and these tassels. And it's the same tassels actually as Aquamador, but Aquamador is specifically says in the flavor text that he's just a water wizard, and that's not the same thing as a mermaid. They just bend water to their will. But Krishnerd Witch definitely has the vibes. Definitely has the vibes of wanting to be all mermaid-like. I don't know. Sometimes it comes down to that. The fins also kind of look like a certain Gishki monster later on, but we'll get to that. No Punk Rising Scale. I didn't write it there, but that's No Punk Rising Scale. And also Ukiyo-e Punk Sharakusai, who is Ukiyo-e Punk Rising Carp. You can see drawn fish in their art, and the name Rising Scale clearly calls to mind. Also fish and fish scales. And they're clearly, obviously, putting it in their name. They want to be tied to fish and mermaids. Got Destiny Hero Decider, who is dressed up as the Loch Ness Monster, so much like Neospatian Elemental Hero Bubble Man, except even more so with a specific sea creature here. They want to be the Loch Ness Monster. They in their heart, that's what they got. All right, this will be easy. This will be all of the Marincess monsters. Marincess Mandarin, Sea Star, Marincess Seahorse, Marincess Sea Star, Marincess Pascalis, Marincess Spring Girl, Marincess Blue Tang, Marincess Basila Lima, Marincess Sleepy Maiden, Marincess Crowntail. You can already see they're all very much dressed up as fish, and that's not something you do if you're not mermaid-hearted. Marincess Blue Slug, Marincess Sea Angel, Marincess Marbled Rock. Some of them are dressed up as not so much fish, but underwater features. I don't know. I mean, she's got fins. She wants to be a fish. Marincess Coral Triangle, Marincess Wonderheart, Marincess Great Bubble Reef, Marincess Aqua Argonaut. They're all dressed up as sea creatures of some kind. Although if you know the Marincess monsters, you know that there's a particular one missing that'll be later on the list. Oh, and of course there's Trickstar Aqua Angel, and the Angel of Blue Tears and Maiden of Blue Tears. These all represent Aoi Zaizen from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains anime, who's the one who plays all the Marincesses, and she also, well, as Blue Maiden, similarly cosplays as a fish. So that's pretty mermaid-hearted, I'd say. Mnati Meek is dressed up as a Tierlaments monster, and they're obviously mermaids, so duh. Area the Water Charmer, Familiar Possessed Area. Raging Area, Area the Water Charmer Gentle, and Area the Water Channeler are what I consider to be the peak of Mermaid Hearted. She is soul bonded with a water monster, two of them actually, and her whole devotion is to the power of water. So yeah. Now that's all of them. We can zoom out and look at the whole thing. That is the Mermaid Hearted category. Let's go to the next one. So we've got water spirits next. These will be monsters that don't necessarily have mermaid tails, but are definitely aligned with water. So the first subcategory is priestesses. So if they serve some sort of water deity or something like that, or devote themselves to water spiritually, like Element Saber Nalu here. Let's see, we also got Water Enchantress of the Temple, who I wasn't initially going to include, but it seemed that they're not just a water bender, they are some sort of priestess that does water magic more generally. We have Sorcerer of Sebek, devotee, of course, of Sebek or Sobek, the Egyptian god of the Nile. Aqua Chorus, the red-haired girl here, is devoted to all these water spirits behind her. Similarly, her other friends in Aqua Chorus Round. Crystal Girl might be the first instance here of a card on the list because of her effect. So just based on the art and name, you might think that she does like crystals or maybe ice, but the effect itself cares about any water monsters, so it's clearly got some power over them. Maiden of the Aqua is so devoted to the ocean that she can treat the field as if it is water. And Yorishiro of the Aqua is the same girl. Adularia of the June Moon is clearly doing some water magic here. And I couldn't resist putting at least one moon-aligned entity on the mermaid list. She's definitely got the vibes, though. Alright, that's all the priestesses. If we go up... Go up to the next one, we've got deities. These might be some of the deities the water priestesses from earlier were devoting themselves to. Although, just to be clear, not every water deity will be on this list, just the ones that are also mermaids. So for instance, the element saber earlier, her deity is Mulinglacia. Mulinglacia is not on this list because they are not a mermaid, simply put. So, Newman Eret Tetsudo and Tetsudo Eret Newman. Um, these are the god that will be called turtle and the turtle that will be called god. For the purpose of this list, we're assuming that originally the god was not a turtle, or, was thrust into the position of being a turtle, which kind of makes them part, you know, well, I guess part god and part turtle. But that's like kind of like half human and half sea creature. Flogos, the Ogdoadic boundless. So all the Ogdoadics are deities of the primordial waters, but the other ones will be placed higher on the list, or as some of them aren't included at all, based on the form that they take. So this is the one. Is this one too? Yeah. Aaron, the Ogdoadic king. Keursei, the Ogdoadic light. All these are the ones that were least mermaid in form, but I could still justify putting on the list. We've got Sea Lord's Amulet, and Power of Kaishin, and Poseidon Wave. I suppose Kaishin is referencing some deity in the Yu-Gi-Oh verse. Some water god there. Similarly, the Sea Lord. Possibly the same person. Poseidon's, of course, Poseidon. Rage of the Deep Sea. Also, obviously, a Poseidon-like water deity. And then we got number C73, Abyss Supra Splash. And number 73, Abyss Splash in the Zexal anime. That's the god of the ocean. And Full Armor Crystal Zero Lancer and number 94 Crystal Zero are the ocean goddess in the Zexal anime. So that's all the deities. Let's go back. And up. We've got aqua forms. These are spirits that take they're themselves made of water. Oh. Kawaki Meru Hydro Barrier. Got a mermaid thing going on, half anthro, and instead of half tail, we've got half water itself. Heart of clear water, that's the soul of the water right there. Aqua Chorus, uh-oh. The Aqua Chorus itself in the background, the water spirits, the aqua spirits. Similarly, the aqua chorus around, the colorful ones in the back there. Water spirit. It's an ancient water spirit that haunts the glacial monoliths of Antarctica. I know it doesn't look very mermaidy, but it is literally a water spirit, so it had to make the list of water spirits. Alright, we've got Prank Kids Dropsies, made of water there. Hydor, the base of all things. If there was more lore about him, I might have put him in the deity section, but he is made of water. Hydrogenex, Argenex Undine, and Genex Undine, all of course named after Undine, the merfolk folklore creature. Marincess Crystal Heart. This is the Marincess that was missing earlier, because she's made of water, so she gets to be up here. Ice Jade Creation Agiro Cassis, Ice Jade Creation Kingfisher. This specific one on Ice Jade Erosion. Ice Jade Tremora, Ice Jade Tenola, Ice Jade Acti, Ice Jade Agerine, Ice Jade Ran Agerine, Ice Jade Gamir Agerine, and Ice Jade Cosmochlore all get to be included, even though I said earlier most ice creatures aren't, because they are, animate ice. Like, I mean, that's a little different, but also they're animated water. There's clearly water stuff going on. Here we got the bubbles, we got the splashing, but that's clearly trying to take the form of women. We got the mer and the maid, so they get to be included as mermaids. And it's my list. Next up, we've got Fae/spirits. So whatever spirit is empowering the barrier statue of the torrent must be powerful enough to ward off special summons. I believe we're gonna have Tsuru Puru Purin, some kind of water fae creature. Gabrion the Time Lord and Zaphion the Time Lord have some connection to water and maybe even fish with these little fin designs on Zaphion. We obviously got the water in the wings here and the bubbles here. Nemesis Umbrella is some sort of vaguely anthropomorphic water thing. Yaksha. So the thing about Yaksha is that there's another Yaksha in the game. It's Fire King Yaksha. But what a Yaksha is a nature spirit connected to a lot of things. But sometimes it's water. Here it's obviously water because the attribute. The Fire King Yaksha is clearly not a water Yaksha or water spirit, so it's not here. Pyrate, the ghost pirate, is even trying to kind of like a tail. It's not a. I mean, I guess technically it's a mermaid tail because it's on the mermaid list, but I think it's just cool. We've got a watery spirit. It's a pirate, pirates and mermaids together at last. I got Lady of the Lake. Her domain is obviously the lake. She guards the sword, which might be Ascalon. I don't quite remember my Arthurian legend. But got Calming Magic, some sort of bubble fairy. Suijin. It's just, I'm pretty sure Japanese for water person. A water guy. A Suijin be more clearly a water spirit, but water guy, water spirit. Cataclysmic circumpolar chilbania is doing water stuff. Kind of looks more like a gin, actually, than Suijin here. We've got, if I can go up a bit, Water Dragon Fairy, whose flavor text, I believe, clarifies the, yeah, she is called a water fairy in the card text. Fortune Fairy Sui, obviously, who is also Fortune Lady Water. The Fairy of the Spring, of course, a Fae whose domain is a certain spring. Same with the Emissary of the Oasis, there's her Oasis. And let's go up. And over to fish-like spirits. So we've got Prediction Princess Crystaldine, who, again, calling to mind Undine, Water Elemental / Nymph, just like Gen X Undine. We got Water Element, got her little fish ears here. Oh, Crystaldine is taking on more of a jellyfish kind of thing, but that still counts. Water Omotics has the little fish ears as well, as does Fairy of the Fountain. And Aqua Spirit, the most water spirits mermaidy of all, for this category at least. And now that we've gone through all of those, we can zoom out. And there are all the water spirits. Let's do the next one. Alright, the next category is anthropomorphic sea creatures. And the first subcategory here is going to be arms, legs, no tail. So we've got Shell Knight, whatever creature is living under all those, they're quite humanoid in the form they're taking. Crab Turtle also going bipedal and sort of bimanual. Oystermeister. Oystermeister is the best guy. They're the best. I would place them higher, but I just can't. They're just so much an anthro oyster boy. Or, whatever they are. Sebek's Blessings. This is Sebek of the Priestess of Sebek, or whatever she was called. So Sebek or Sobek, god of the Nile in Egypt. Crocodile, humanoid, traditionally not depicted with a tail, so going in arms, legs, no tail. Let's go up one. We've got arms, legs, and has a tail. Zarigan. We got another bipedal crustacean going on here. Gentlemander, very anthropomorphic. And it says mander, but it's got some axolotl going on. Either way. Gamciel, the sea turtle kaiju, got the arms, the legs. Anthro sea turtle. Gishki reliever, that's just a weird fish with arms and legs. Wow warrior, a fish with arms, legs, and some very sharp teeth. And a tail, of course. Gladiator beast Thorax, who is just a pufferfish with arms and legs and some very pretty armor. And then a very small category up here. We've got arms, legs, no tail. Or sorry, arms, no legs, no tail. What's Morinfen? And, despite being a strange fiend, very clearly got a shark head here and some weird fins and gills maybe on the arms. It's hard to say. I checked the anime and all of the 3D models. There is in fact not a tail back there. It's just a weird dress. But yeah, arms, legs, no tail. And one more up. We've got arms, no legs, tail. Akihiron, or cactus, as it is actually written out. I don't know where Akihiron comes from, but that's what Mementotlan Akihiron is called. You can see right here it says Kaku Tasu cactus. But yeah, got tail, arms, very strange ear fin things. High Tide Gyojin. It's got a tail under there, as does Root Water. They're kind of the same guy. Drake Shark, same kind of body plan going on. Number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. Now we're getting into more mermaid looking. I know they've also got the spider legs, but we're focusing on the mermaid part. We're not counting spiders here. Number S37, Spider Shark, same monster. You can see a bit clearer maybe the mermaidy tail. Number 47, Nightmare Shark. Now we're really getting into the shape of a mermaid. Also very clearly a shark. Man-eating black shark. That is just a shark with very muscly arms. Yeah, and great. Oh, also the sea common, gruesome goo, Amazon the seas. I told you the fusions would show up, and great white. It's same kind of deal going on with man-eating black shark. And there's all the anthropomorphic sea creatures. Let's go to the next category. Alright, next category is legged merfolk. So less the tail heavy ones and more the ones that just kind of are human-shaped fish. Not like the anthro fish where it's just like a fish that someone stuck arms and legs on. It's like a person, but they're made of scales instead of skin. All right. Also, the original, the working category title for this whole one was water furries or something like that, fish furries. So think that way. The first subcategory we got is bestial. Turupurun. Got a trident here and an anchor. Obviously, water attribute. Some sort of little water gremlin guy. The creature in Torrential Reborn, which might be a tribe-infecting virus guy, but I'm not certain, so both go on there. They're both kind of lizard watery guys. Amphibian beast. Yeah, we got all the fins. It says on land and on sea. It's super fast, so just be clear there's no tail under there, probably. Tachyminos, quite similar to the amphibian beast, but less, yeah, less fins. Gishki beast, very, very watery. Gladiator beast Retiari, underwater in the art. Is it? It might be walking on water. But yeah, it's like vaguely a water lizard guy. Go Giga Gaga Gigo, Gaga Gigo the Risen, Giga Gaga Gigo, Gigo Bite, Gigabyte, and Gaga Gigo. All the this guy very water furry look to him, especially. And they hang out with Area. Oh, I forgot one. Awakening of the Possessed. Gagigo Bite, and there's Area, of course. You know, wielding the water. Yeah. And then we go up one here. We've got Canonically Trans. So it's time for all the Gishkis we were alluding to earlier. Gishki Zealgigus, who is Steel Swarm Hercules is mermaid form. Evagishki Tetrogre, which is Vylon Tetra and Noelia, I believe. Evagishki Soul Ogre might be Avance. Evagishki, no, Levianima. Levianima is probably Avance. So I'm not sure who Soul Ogre is. One of them. Maybe the Gusto guy. And there's more Gishkis than this. This is just the ones that are this low, because they're not something more mermaidy. MTG Merfolk. Derogatory. I know that Magic the Gathering has more actual mermaidy mermaids, but a lot of the time they're just like guys with scales instead of skin and nothing else distinguishing them as a merfolk. Alright, let's see. We've got full armored Dark Knight Lancer. Fun fact, there's a whole bunch of shark cards that would have made it, except that I couldn't stand trying to figure out where they fit, and they were barely mermaid-like. So this is the one concession, because he's got all the fins, at least. They've got all the fins, at least. We got Night Lizard and the Furious Sea King, who are like recolors of each other. You know, we can't see what's under there, but I think I checked in the games and there's legs. I'm gonna check that now, actually. Right, so I looked it up, and yeah, the Furious Sea King has legs. So water furry, or legged merfolk, if you prefer. Sea Dragoons of Draconia, the guy on the back with the fins, not the sea monster. That's just a sea monster. This kid's. Yep. Elemental Hero Marine Neos and Elemental Hero Aqua Neos are both the mermaid-y forms of Elemental Hero Neos, and Neospatian Aqua Dolphin is half of one of them, and the other half is Neospatian Marine Dolphin. So Dolphin Furry. Let's go back up. MTG Morphoke. Elemental Hero Ocean, very similar body plan. Warrior of Atlantis has a pretty vestigial tail, so gets to be in this category. Gishki Diviner, you can't see any tail, so we're not going to assume that they have one. Neo Kaiser Seahorse, Kaiser Seahorse are both retrains of Sea Serpent Warrior of Darkness. You can see the same spear, and then a fancier one. Deep Sea Warrior, little legs, all those scales. It's a cool design. Deep Sea Sentry, the big one over here, of course, is the legged merfolk, naturally. Butterfly Fish, it's very cool. Gladiator Beast Murmillo. This one's in the water, at least, kind of going for a ray, maybe. Atlantean Pikeman, Atlantean Marksman, Atlantean Heavy Infantry, Atlantean Dragoons, not the sea monster mounts, just the kids riding them. Atlantean Attack Squad and Mermaid Shadow Squad are all the same kind of MTG-style merfolk with the humanoid body plan and maybe some fins here or there. Oh. Let's go up. And we've got VTuber is the final subcategory in this legged merfolk tier, which will make sense in a second. I'm going to scroll over to our first one. Oh, got Bahamut Shark. So you see we've got the bipedal, biarmal, and a big tail back here. It's the style that shark and fish VTubers tend to go for. So that's what I'm calling this body plan. Quakimeru Sea Panthers got the same thing. The tail's a bit of a different angle, but I think it's still the right size. Evil Swarm Ketos, who is Gishki Shadow. Now we're getting the longer tails. No. What happened there? Yeah, Gishki Vision as well. X-Saber Galahad, Fish Face, Fish Tail. Very merfolk. I'm going to go to the very top to get Abyss Warrior, Abyss Soldier, Mermail Abyss Baleen, Mermail Abyss Lead, Mermail Abysstius, and Mermail Abyss Megalo. All big whale and the big tail, like a big VTuber tail. Yeah, originally these were in the anthropomorphic sea creatures, but then I realized obviously they're this exact body plan, and it doesn't matter that their face is a whale for all of them, because that's not the deciding factor. Triedge Levia, Spined Gilman, are still in the fish face, and then Gladiator Beast Vespasius, and Gladiator Beast Domitianus. This one's fusion materials just here. I guess theoretically other gladiator beasts could be part of it, but there's already other gladiator beasts that are mermaids, so no need to overcomplicate things. Wiz Sage for Hire, now we're getting very, very like a real VTuber here. Helmer Helmsman for Hire, and Spearfish Soldier. That's just a VTuber. I could open up a stream And I could see someone with that design. We've got Gold Pride Chariot Carry, Gold Pride Star Leon, and Gold Pride Captain Carry all feature this gal. Human face, human body, just big VTuber tail, the epitome of the VTuber category, or subcategory, rather. And that'll be it for the legged merfolk. There they all are. Alright, let's go to the next category. So now we're on to non-traditional mermaids. These will be definitely mermaids, but the particular form they're taking isn't the standard upper half woman, lower half fishtail. And there's a lot of variety in this one, so let's get to it. So the first subcategory for this one is magmaids. Mermaids are of the ocean. Magmaids are of magma or fire. So Promethean princess, bestower of flames. I took a close look at the expanded art, and I'm still not super clear if this is her tail or if she just whatever she has is hidden under her dress. But let's be generous and assume this is her tail, and she's a magmaid. And this one's a lot more clear. Royal Fire Storm Guards. Beautiful long tail. Would be a mermaid, except that her thing is lava and fire, not water. Going up. We've got non-animal merms. So the traditional is, of course, human, woman on top. But now, what if we were something like a plant? Lord Poison. Sort of poisonous root, taking the form of, the shape of a mermaid. Glacial beast, iceberg narwhal. That should say, and does say, but it's harder to read. Is in form of a mermaid, also with a narwhal head on the hand. But not traditional enough to go anywhere higher. And then we got Soul Icer Crystal. It's very mermaid in form, but also made of ice or crystal, perhaps. Yes, because those are the non-animal ones. If we go up one, we've got kappas. So appliancer kappa scale, of course kappas. Traditional Japanese merfolk. Green kappa. Armored kappa. Hibo, Lord of the River. Hyosube. Kappa Avenger. And Psychic kappa. And going up another one, we've got Sneck merms. So most snecks aren't included, but these ones have something mermaidy about them. So Zoha, the Ogdoadic Boundless. As mentioned before, some of the Ogdoadics get to be on the list because they're more shapecular. The Abyss Dragon Sword Soul, who has taken this form to have some sort of advantage in the water when it is going to murder all of the ice jades. Got the water splashing around here. What is actually happened is fused into the head of the great sand serpent of Golconda, which technically makes them, upper half human, lower half, well, a snake in this case, but clearly going for the water. Reptilian Nyami. So Nyami is the serpentine goddess of the Zambezi River. Also, this merm is possibly trans because the deity she's based on is masculine. Reptilian Melusine. Melusine's a half fish or a half serpent, freshwater spirit, very mermy. Ammunesia, the Ogdoadic queen. Got, definitely more mermaid in shape than a lot of the previous Ogdoadics. And Nephilibus, the Ogdoadic overlords, the culmination. We've got very humanoid upper half. Wings, not a traditional thing, but, look at all that tail. So the embodiment of Apophis. Along with Apophis the serpent, Apophis the swamp deity, and divine serpent Apophis get to be here because these two are specifically deities of the swamp. So that's, a swamp water type deity. Vinamanaga, also a snake deity, and maybe she hangs out in the venom swamp, but her domain is poisonous snakes, not specifically swamps in general, as Apophis's domain is. So moving up, we've got non-human animal merms. So we had the non-animal merms, and now we've got the non-human animal merms. We're getting closer. So Mentotlin Tetsu no Toshigo. What the? Along with, of course, Tetsu no Toshigo, or Seahorse Shihosu. I don't know where Tetsu no Toshigo comes from, but again, that's the memento name. Elder Entity Norden, specifically the Mount. It's a hippocampus. That's the merm here. Rare fish and marine beast. I told you those fusion monsters would be coming up. And cat shark is an adorable cat mermaid. And arm male, who's like a monkey mermaid. Let's go up to the next subcategory. We've got reverse mermaids. So mermaid, top half humanoid, lower half fish ular. What if we got something like Umino Taurus? Perhaps a sea slug, and lower half is human looking. Along with Gishki mollusk, Gishki marker. I love these. Gemini lancer. So we've got the fish head and then the humanoid body. Gishki grimness. And Gishki abyss. All filling out the reverse mermaid category. Subcategory rather. We've got more mer than maid. So Uh, oh, I have to read that myself. Okay. I believe that's full armored black ray lancer. Um, who's definitely got fins and a tail and big hydrojet wings. But I'm not seeing enough made in here to count them higher. The Tyrant Neptune, on the lower half, obviously crocodile merm, but bleeds into the top half as well. Mermaid shark, we got mostly shark. Beautiful lure, Yugioh, if you prefer. You know, mostly the mer there. Vanguard of the Undergrad Emperor, we've got an octopus type merm here. Or something. Obviously got tentacles. The still with that tongue, definitely not too humanoid up there. We got Octoberzer, who's got another octopus merm, but also a fish head. Full armored Utopic Ray Lancer and Black Ray Lancer itself. We've got the shape down, but we're clearly more built for the water, even in the upper bit. And Valiant Shark Lancer, all those fins, so much. Valiant, yes. Stop that. Let's go up another. Now we got canonically Genmer Fluid. So these are monsters that can go between their humanoid and mer form. So Ret Time Reviver Emitter, whose Japanese name contains Selkie, which is a seal who can turn into a human woman, and vice versa. So we get to count her. Clavicus the Magikey Skyblaster, whose mermaid form right here, Magikey Spirit Magikey Spirit Vepartu, which might be written there. Nope. Can go between. We've got the little, the water and the fin there. Gishki Cyclone, who's one of the mermaid forms of Noelia. We got Hyari at Ignister, as well as Aqua up here in the corner of I Connect, and Water Leviathan at Ignister are all different forms of Aqua from the Vrains anime. She is sometimes a girl, sometimes a weird mask thing, and sometimes a Leviathan. Neptibus, the Atlantean prince, and Mermail Abysslacia both have more mermular forms, who we'll see a bit later. And this, of course, they're practically humans. Ha! But no, they are canonically Genmer Fluid, as we see. We got more made than mer. So we had the inverse. So now let's see what it looks like if we've got Hydro Tortoise, the Empowered Warrior. Some sort of water turtle, but definitely taking more the shape of a human person. Goki Octo Scratch, so another octopus merm, but definitely way more made than mer going on here. Same with Grapple Blocker. We're getting closer though. Those tentacles are bigger. go up one, we've got guitar gunyards, duonigus, duonigus, guitar gunyards, duonigus. So it was definitely scaly, definitely got all the fish bits, but the shape is really, you know, legs. But I couldn't, in good conscience, put this in the legged merfolk category because they're way more mermaidy than those those people. Same with deep sea artisan, very obviously designed to be a mermaid. It just happens to have a bit more legs in them. Tierlament's rhino heart. Oh, also that category was like water furries, and we got the human skin coming in here with all of these. Tierlament's rhino heart, who, as we all know, is trans. Tierlament's Merly, Tierlament's Havness, Tierlament's Shiren, Tierlament's Kashtira. It's fine. Manatium Trisukta, who is Tierlament's Kiklos, and of course Tierlament's Ruklos. All of these very clearly mermaids. They got the fins. They got such beautiful mermaids, especially this one. These fins, amazing. But of course, they're way more made than mer. So this is where they lie. And then we got made to order mermaid outfit outfitter, who's got all her fins and stuff, but also happens to have some legs. So we're sitting pretty in more made than mer. Just appreciating the art. If we go, yep. So if we go up again, we get the final subcategory here is mer and maid, but so starting off with, I believe that's headhunter. I'm not sure. No, no. Oh no. Or is it he who hunts souls? One who hunts souls here. So we've got all of the mer and maid parts. We've got the upper half is humanoid. We got the fish tail down here, but also horse bit and something weird with the head. So that's what the butt might look like. Also mermail abyssmander, and mermail king Neptibus. There's Neptibus's more mermaid ular form. The thing is, we've got some stray legs still coming in here and here that are keeping in the butt. Mer and maid butt category. Also, mermail abyss Gaios, same thing going on. Tiagramentos Kaleido Heart. Tierlament's Kaleido Heart. I believe I picked this particular art because it was the clearest. But yeah, so I mean, we got, upper part human woman, lower part sea creature, but the sea creature in question here is squid or octopus, perhaps. Not quite the fish, which is traditional. Same thing. Ivagishki Gust Kraken, we got definitely a squid going on here. El Shidal App Cologne. So this is the way that it's connected is weird, because we've got the upper half of human, and then The lower half is a fish, but there's a bit more. It's attached at a bit higher up than you might think. And the same is going on with Evagishki Mind August, and Evagishki Nerimanus, with this. And finally, we have Altergeist Fiji Alert, who is based on the Fiji mermaid, a famous hoax mermaid with the top half being a monkey and the bottom being a fish, which actually is a lot like Arm Mail. But this monster is way more mermaidy, because we got humanoid up and the fishtail bottom, but also some some weird appendages also. But the fact that she's based on a real hoax mermaid lets her edge out the others. And now that we've got there, that's all of them. Let's zoom out. And there you go. That is all the non-traditional mermaids. Only one more category left. So let's move on. And here we are at the final category, traditional mermaids. This is what you think of when you think of a mermaid. And just to clear something up, all of the other entries are also mermaids. This is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mermaids tier list. It's just that these ones are, you know, the traditional shaped ones. And yeah, let's get into that. I'm so excited. All right. First of the last subcategories, inorganic mermaids. We've got Code Radiator, very much a mermaid, but made of data or something. Therion Reaper Fume is clearly a robot. Altergeist Melusik, I believe representing some sort of computer virus, but if not that, another robot. And Nightmare Mermaid, who is the gem of Mekhnite Indigo Eclipse, given form through the power of Ibli. Yeah. Very merm. Very merm, very maid. Let's go up one. Extra fishy mermaids. Sea Lancers. So these are like the MTG merfolk, except they're actually, that's mean, except they actually have tails and are the correct shape. So Sea Lancer, we've got the fishy webbed hands and the green skin and the mermaid tail. We've got Sentinel of the Seas, same deal going on. Little wrist fins. Gishki Chain. Gishki Chain, very bit of a monstrous merm face, but Armed Sea Hunter. This is kind of like a plesiosaur mermaid, as is Supreme Sea Mare, that huge tail length. Oh, that beautiful hair. Supreme Sea Mare, canonically trans. I know not in the canonically trans category, but mare. It's a female animal, and we've got definitely not female looking body there. So good for her. Good for her. Let's go up one. We've got Winged Mermaids. Oh, and would you look who it is? Nightmare Incarnation Idley. So it's a bit easier to see on World Legacy Monstrosity. But she's got the wings, she's got a big serpentine tail, and she is made up of like 17 different guys, 5 of which are dragons. I chose to include her because I put a lot of work into adding her constituents, and it would be silly not to. And I also like to believe that the form of a goddess is that of a mermaid. So, yeah. Number 103, Ragnafinity. This is Ragnazero's rank up form. So you might think that these are feathers, but that pose is clearly a traditional mermaid pose. We'll be interpreting this as a mermaid tail. These can still be wings, hence the winged mermaids category. Siren orca, beautiful wings, beautiful tail, pretty hair, pretty girl. And we're calling to mind the origins, along with ghost trick siren. Beautiful, beautiful. But of course, sirens originally were bird women, and then later got folded into the mermaid lore. So this is like bridging the gap with these winged merfolk. And Evagishki Merogeist, the wings being a bit more fin-like, gets her a fin up, a tail up. Certainly not a leg up. These are just fins down here, no legs, of course. If we go, oh, if we go over here, spoilers. We finally just have no frills, just mermaids. Let's start the mermaids category, subcategory, with Nemuriko. So Nemuriko seems to be a serpentine body with a human head, which is common for Japanese ningyo. So that's a traditional depiction of a kind of mermaid, as is Amabi. Amabi is another Japanese mermaid, usually got more of a bird face, but the 3 tails are traditional. And then we got Abyss Squall, which is this ring slash bracelet here is housing the spirit slash soul of the original form of Mermail Abyssgaios, whatever that might be, but presumably, like all the other mermails, is a mermaid in the form that Abyssgaios takes when possessing or whatever Poseidra, transmogrifying, is definitely mermaid in form. So we'll be assuming, of course, that the guardian of the mermails is, of course, a mermaid. Rod of Silence Chaos is soul-bound to, Guardian Chaos, who's way over there right now. Let's go. Much like the Abyss Squall trinket, Guardian Chaos resides in and controls the Rod of Silence. She can only be summoned when Rod of Silence is there. She's manifesting from the rod. That's her. She is a mermaid. The Abyss Scale of Cetus. The only Abyss Scale that's got a unique mermaid in the background. Here, the other ones are like a kraken and something else. And then the newer one just has Neptibus on it, so he doesn't get an extra spot. Deep Sea Aria has got a whole bunch of little mermaids in the crowd here. They're so cute. Deep Sea Diva as well, of course. Deep Sea Sentry, now we're counting the little mermaid here with her little tail, and she's so short. Deep Sea Minstrel, beautiful tail. Deep Sea Prima Donna, Deep Sea Repetiteur, Deep Sea Diva, all very traditionally mermaids, well-known. Deep Sea Diva, perhaps the most well-known mermaid in Yu-Gi-Oh! Mermail Abyss Lung, Mermail Abyss Turge, Mermail Abyss Pike, Mermail Abyss Nose. These are all the trans mermails, at least the pre-HRT trans mermails. Perhaps they are all trans. Abyss Shrine, the Atlantean Spirit, as well as Abyss Trite, the Atlantean Spirit. I just got the bracelet. But yeah, Abyss Trite, the Atlantean Spirit, and Mermail Abyss Trite are the previously mentioned more mermaid forms of Abyssalacia, the Link 2 monster from before who looked human. But let's go up. And we got the others, Mermail Abyss Dine, Mermail Abyss Hilde, Mermail Abyss Neri, and they're all different fish. Mermail Abyss Oshia, Mermail Abyss Gund, we got a clownfish here. Mermail Abyss Linde. And that's all the mermail mermaids, but there are some more mermaids yet. Just a few more. We've got Ice Water, unreleased in the English TCG, but she is still very mermaid. Got Amazon of the Seas. The scales on Amazon of the Seas are going the wrong way. It's easy to tell. Look at Ice Water. Her scales are going the correct way. And now you can't unsee that. Red Archery Girl, classic, who is of course also Toon Mermaid and Mermaid Archer. Now we're getting into full-on mermaids. Not just enough to look the part, must be named the part. Rainbow Marine Mermaid. Also unreleased in English, but no less the mermaid. Enchanting Mermaid. Beautiful. Her scales also going the wrong way, like Amazon of the Seas. And finally, I believe, nope, Mermaid Knight. Yeah, powers up from Umi. And if I am correct, this is about to be the most mermaid in Yu-Gi-Oh! Can you guess who's missing? Give you some time. Alright, it's Cure Mermaid! You can see, unlike a lot of these other ones, you can see all of her, except a bit of her hair maybe. But yeah, her full tail, her full form, maybe a bit of her hands missing, but some of the tails cut off here. Some of Enchanting Mermaid's tail, most of Rainbow Marine Mermaid. But Cure Mermaid, she is under the water, she's playing with a fish, she's got the mermaid ears, the mermaid tail, so traditional, so beautiful. She's the best. Alright, and let's zoom out just to see the full scope of things. That's maybe a bit much. There we go. It's all the traditional mermaids, and with that, that is the end of the list. And now you know all of the mermaids in Yu-Gi-Oh! This was fun.